Everyone, this is Nadim from CGTN Digital, and with me is my traveling companion for the next few days, Oyka.
Hello, everyone.
And Oyka is from Uzbekistan, and today we are in
Dunhuang, in Gansu province, which is at the northwest of the China.
And we are broadcasting live right here from the Dunhuang market, or Shazhou market, in Dunhuang city in Gansu, northwestern China's Gansu province.
Yes.
Now, for those who don't remember Oyka, Oyka was one of the participants last week in our Belt and Road quiz, and she didn't do well. She actually came last. So today she's going to be with me, and we're going to do a bit of trading. I'm going to teach her a couple of things about the Silk Road, the ancient Silk Road, which the city of Dunhuang is a strategic place along the ancient Silk Road. And in return, she's going to help me with a bit of Chinese and a bit of culture, because Oyka has been living in China for
14 years.
14 years. So are you excited, Oyka?
Really?
All right, so without further ado, let's start our trip down the Dunhuang market here in Dunhuang City, live from CGTN Digital. You can watch us on Facebook, YouTube, Weibo, and Twitter. Leave your comments below. If you have any questions, do ask us. We will try to answer them. And Oyka is here with us. She's from Uzbekistan, and we are starting our first section of the
Food market?
It's going to be the food market. And if you look on both sides, Dachi, if you can show on both sides, there's one thing in common between the two sides of the street, which is
Meat. A lot of meat.
a lot of meat and a lot of
Noodles.
noodles and a lot of
Barbecues.
barbecue.
Yes.
That's right. So speak about the meat first, because that's what first attracted
Oyka.
Oyka. And Oyka eats a lot of meat, I heard.
Yes.
Is yangzhou, or lamb.
Yeah.
And one of the most local cuisines here in Dunhuang is,
驴肉.
before the luro, the yangzhou, which is the lamb, and that's because of its proximity to the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. And Xinjiang is on the north of Gansu. So that's why one of the cuisines is meat, lamb. And barbecue is actually because of the influence from the Han Dynasty. In the Han Dynasty, they had a lot of barbecue, and so up until this day, one of the most famous cuisines in Dunhuang is chuar, or barbecue. Now, the chuar goes well with what? What kind of?
Beer?
Well, I was going to say spices, actually,
Okay.
because it goes well with beer as well, but it also goes well with spices.
Okay.
And spices is because of the influence from
Silk Road. It's first from, wait, let me think. Silk Road. It should be Arabic country now? No.
it's from no, actually, spices are from the Tang Dynasty.
Okay.
The Tang Dynasty used a lot of spices. Their food was very aromatic, and so that's why we have a lot of aromatic aromatic cuisine dishes here in Dunhuang. But actually, you said something about beer. We're not going to try beer right now, but we're going to try a different drink that is so typical of Dunhuang, which is called the apricot peel water. We're going to go by one for you and one for me, and try to ask them how they do it.
Okay.
So, 你好.
Yeah.
Please head the way.
这是几批水？要哪？这是怎么做的呀？
李广信，东方李广信熬的饮料。
啊？
东方李广信熬的饮料。
我知道这是怎么做的。
新批水，李广信熬的。
李广信 ，OK。
哎，对，李广信熬的饮料。
They boiled with the
apricot peel.
Yeah.
Okay.
要熬多长时间？一般来说。
1个小时左右。
Like they boiled for 1 hour.
Okay.
To make it.
Okay.
你有冰的吗？
有呢。
你给2个吗
2个。
Yeah.
Okay, so she doesn't like it room temperature. She likes it very cold.
Yeah.
Actually,
because it's really hot there. I guess not
that hot,
but
It's getting hot.
Yeah.
Actually, Dunhuang is an oasis city. So we have the desert, which is on the north of, actually it surrounds it from west to east. So we have the Taklamakan Desert, which is a desert in Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, and we have the Gobi Desert. And Gansu sits on the western edge of the Gobi Desert and on the eastern edge of the Taklamakan Desert. And so it tends to be a bit hot during the day. Right now, not so much because it's 7:30, and so there's not much temperature. But in July, let's say, it's going to be really hot, and you would need this juice because this is known. Did we pay?
No, let's run.
Okay, you run first. 是多少？10块钱。All right. 我给你20。So this is known to be very. He still needs to give me money.
Yeah.
好，谢谢。This is known to be actually very soothing during summer, extremely soothing for the lungs. And we're going to try this out. And are you ready?
Yeah.
Did you already have your first sip?
No, not yet. I'm waiting.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Just orange juice, kind of.
Except it's not orange.
Yeah.
It's apricot.
Oh, apricot,
And
yeah.
it actually doesn't have a lot of sugar in it. So 100 milliliter will have 1% of your daily intake of calories, which is not bad, especially for someone who's trying to keep in shape.
Okay.
But it's very refreshing, actually. And we have, okay, so we started to have people coming in to the Dunhuang market. Ni hao. And we have, I'm trying to find something that you spoke about, which is,
This.
okay, so this is
like
cow roll,
yeah.
but is it donkey?
It's have donkey here.
Okay, so can we speak, we want to speak about donkey because one of the delicacies in Dunhuang is called Lu Rou Huang Mian, which
but
is,
why don't you find the Liu Huang Mian? I remember it was over there.
it's there,
It's there?
but I want to know why is it there's
Yes.
donkey meat.
Okay.
So if you can help me with that.
Yeah.
And if you can have it, you know, have you ever tried it?
No.
Okay, do you want to try it?
Yeah.
All right, so can you ask her about
你好，你有驴肉烤肉吗？有烤肉吗？有。
是串儿？
啊，那要一个。哎，我想问一下，为什么你们做的
Okay.
为
So
什么
this
是
is work hazard right now. You by yourself. Are you fine?
No, it's fine. It's good.
Okay. Oh wow, that's a lot.
一个。
要一个啊。
对，哎，我想问一下，为什么当地驴肉那么有名呢？
哎，这个好吃啊，全是瘦的。
啊，就瘦的。
啊，没肥的，你看没那个标，很好吃。
啊，because it's tasty, why it's popular, and it doesn't have much fat.
It doesn't have much fat. So
Yeah.
this is what? This is
驴肉 yeah.
this is Nyoro?
驴
Nuro.
Yes.
So this is donkey
yeah, donkey.
meat.
Yeah.
And can you ask them what else do they do with donkey meat? Other than
Char.
the char, which is what we're having
Yeah.
right now, which is the barbecue. And they also do another dish, which we're going to see later on, and it's the noodles with donkey meat. But can you ask them if they do any other dishes with the donkey meat?
哦，不要。
See, but that's the spices that we were talking about. Can you just let
Yeah.
me hold it for the camera?
你能再指示一下那个刚刚的那个调料吗？
就那个辣椒，
辣椒啊，对，
This
能
is
给他
some
们
of
看一下
the-
吗？那个视频，对，它一点点，好吧。Actually, I don't like spicy food.
Then you do.
Okay.
Then you do.
OK，哎，我想问一下，除了这种驴肉串儿，还有那种驴肉黄面之外，你们还用驴肉做什么菜啊？
驴肉
可以酱驴肉嘛，
酱驴肉。
啊，摘那个汁子吃的，
哦，就是
啊，有酱驴肉一小碗那个摘汁子吃的。
啊，就一盘驴肉。
oh, they just this kind of special soil for this, and they put it meat inside and eat it. Just bake the like meat, and they put it into the special soil and eat it.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. I wouldn't lie. I've tried donkey meat once in my life before I turned vegetarian, and I remember it was very chewy.
Okay.
So unlike beef, let's say, beef is not that chewy, but the chewy as in like you chew it a lot.
Yeah. Really? That's
Yeah.
why you become a vegetarian, right?
No, I became vegetarian for a lot of other reasons. Oh look, you said you don't like spices, and he's just putting a lot of spices. So I think he put cumin, he put chili,
Yeah.
and I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, I will. It's my job to enjoy today.
把这个打上去都行，好了。价格了。
Is it going to take more time or?
还有
这个是什么？
这是你刚刚
这个
说的是什么？
是什么？
刚才刷的啊，
我知道你刚刚最后刷的是什么东西？
油。
油 oil。
Oil.
It's too fat.
It's fine. You have this to balance it
Okay.
because this is not fattening at all.
Okay. 这还有多长时间呀？
好了好了。
好了吗？
As Oyka waits for her
Barbecue?
donkey meat to be ready, and as she savors the apricot peel water, there's another juice that is, it's not juice, it's liquid, that is also very famous here, and it makes another section because, as we said, the Dunhuang market here has 5 sections. The first section is the food market where you can
Oh,直接拿-
eat
带走
local
吧。
delicacies.
对，不
Tell
能
him that you have it on
你吃
the
完
on the
了，把
run.
茄子拿过来就行了。
哦
别走别吃，吃完了过来把这个茄子。
哦，好的好的好的。
Okay, keep that.
Yeah.
The second section is related to tea, which is integral part of the Chinese culture, and that tea is very specific. And I've tried it for the first time here. It's called
Airport.
Huh?
In the airport.
right in the airport. It's called the Bao Cha, and it translates in English as the 8 treasures tea. And the 8 treasures tea is also one section. So for those who would want to come here to Dunhuang Market in Dunhuang City, in Gansu Province, which is on the northwestern side of China, you might want to sit down in a tea salon right here. And I'm going to explain about it in a bit later. But Oyka, you have to try this. You
Yeah,
haven't
I will
tried
try.
it. Dachi, can you come and just see whatever?
It's much softer than like beef, I can say.
Okay.
And
It's softer than beef.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was different from.
It's totally different from my experience.
Okay.
But
That's
to
because.
each their own. I guess it's the way they do it here.
Okay.
And what do you think of it? Do you think it's fattening? Do you think?
No, it's not fat at all. I mean,
Okay.
I like it. I mean.
Okay. Okay. She likes it.
Yeah.
So that's the final verdict. She likes it. All right. And then, okay. So for example, here is a place where they would do the noodle place. But since we don't have much time, this is the yellow noodle, huang mian, and inside there's the donkey meat. And usually they do it in a way that they stretch the noodles. I wish we could see it, but I don't think we have enough time. But
Yeah.
what they do is they would stretch the noodles from one side of the room all the way to the end. So they make it very long, and then they would put it in the plate as a presentation. So it's not
Okay.
short
Yeah, process.
noodles. It's not a short process, and it's not
It's
short
noodle.
strips of noodles.
Okay.
It's very long.
Okay.
And it's mixed with, again, donkey meat, which is what Oyka
Eating
is
now.
eating now. So we've spoken about this section. I told you about the 8 treasures tea, which I'm going to explain about later. But the third section is right now what we're going through is the artifacts and the handworks of the sellers here, of the craftsmen here in Dunhuang. And we're going to look at some of the things that are, because around here, and we have to start. So it's not just, so people here don't sell items for the sake of selling items. These items do actually have some sort of cultural relevance that tells the history of Dunhuang City, which again is a very important place, and it has a very strategic place along the Silk Road. And speaking about this, let's just explain to our audience, why is it important? It's important because it was the only access for merchants from outside
to come to the-
China to come inside China, and from inside China merchants, Chinese merchants to go outside. And that's because the importance, the cultural importance of Dunhuang city along the Silk Road comes from the geography of it. Because as we said, to the north we have the Taklamakan Desert, and the Taklamakan Desert is actually known as the Sea of Death because it's a desert, so merchants who have been there before didn't come back. And so that's from the north of Dunhuang. From the west, correct, you have the mountains and you have the forest, which is a dense place, and not much there's not enough roads.
Yeah,
And so what happens with the Silk Road was divided in China, and the Silk Road, to start with, is not just a single road, it's a network of
like
routes.
many roads and
So it was divided into two sections.
Yeah.
One goes to the north,
Yeah.
and it goes through the edges of the Taklamakan Desert, and one goes to the south, and the southern Silk Road goes to places, for example, like Chengdu, to India, and to the north they go to Lhasa in Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, and this is historically, and from there they go to Bactria, which is in today Afghanistan, and to Persia in Persia, Iran, all the way to the Roman Empire. So these northern Silk Road and southern Silk Road actually used to meet at this specific junction that is Dunhuang. And one thing that you could see a lot is in Dunhuang
Camels.
are camels. Camels, because in the Silk Road before, there was just nothing of infrastructure. You had no airports, obviously, because we're speaking
Of course.
4,000 years ago. So no airports, no infrastructure,
Trains.
no trains, no transportation except
Camel.
the camel. And the camel is so associated with Dunhuang that you would see it everywhere. And if you stay tuned with us, not necessarily tonight, but perhaps in the coming few days, we will have a first-hand experience with the camels.
Really? Wow.
Yes. So the camels used to be the only mode of transportation that merchants from China and abroad would take to carry their merchants in and out of China along the Silk Road. And
What I noticed that it's have two hills, but
the humps?
Two humps, yeah. And because like only two humps, like camel can handle like high temperature, like weather. There also another kind of is for one is one house, and this will be good. No, it's good for like cold weather and hot weather. And with the one, it's also just for like hot weather. So
Actually, the camels are known as the ships of the deserts because they have a lot of endurance. They can endure hot weather, they can endure lack of water, which is something that you would find usually in the desert, as well as lack of vegetation. So they can go days and days in the desert and carry not only a lot of commodities, but also carry the merchants.
yeah, I heard that they can carry kind of 400 kg, like
Kilograms, 400
kilograms.
kilograms. Oh, that's a lot, I would say. Now, the Silk Road is named the Silk Road because of the most valuable items.
Silk.
Exactly, and the silk was only China's prerogative. Only China back then knew how to make silk. And I was just wondering if these are,
Silk,
do you
what
think
else?
these are silk?
Well, it's like a silk, but I don't think so because they're outside. Inside should be silk, but it should be something like silk, I guess. 这是丝绸吗？
真的吗？
真的吗？怎么检查？这外面的是丝绸吗
So apparently this is a silk
？Yes.
place. All right. And we're going to,
We're going to test whether it's like a real silk.
oh wow. So this is how they do it with the real silk.
Smell.
Oh, when it's like smelly, it's mean that it's
Like
really
yeah.
silk.
Ah.
Yeah.
And this
You can.
is
It's like smells like it's you burn something. You
Like
know.
your own hair.
Yeah.
That's how you would know that this is real silk.
this is not silk,
So this is not silk.
but like silk. Have a look.
Yeah, it doesn't have smell at all.
Okay.
you can have a look.
Yeah, and it's burned faster than this, right?
Yes.
就燃烧的更快一些。
燃烧更而且就是会变硬。
Oh, and it's become like really hard, and the
Okay.
silk wouldn't become hard.
Okay. So this is a tip for you guys next time when you go out trying
Yeah.
to buy silk.
Burn everywhere.
No,
I
actually,
need to be kicked out.
All silk stuff is very good for this one.
Wow.
这个是什么？
这个是112库的那个反弹毘帕，就是敦煌壁画。
Oh, like there's some cool like helps like Mogao grapes,
Oh, the Mogao caves.
grapes, and they have a lot of caves there, and there's like 100多少？你刚刚说它在哪个国？ Like there's a lot of caves there, so one of the caves is, have like all caves have different pictures, and 112 caves have this picture inside.
112 caves. Okay.
Yeah, so you remember it and find it in there.
Let me just make something clear about the Mogao grottos or Mogao caves. The Mogao caves are 25 kilometers south of Dunhuang city, and they are actually around 400. 多少是400或者700？
是唐代。
它有多少个窟里面？洞
492。
Okay. So it's
494. 92.
Okay, 492 caves, and they actually hold a trove of information about Buddhism because on the Silk Road, not only trade, not only ideas, not only people were going in and out, but also religion. And Buddhism is actually one of the religions that came to China through the Silk Road, and Dunhuang was the first place that welcomed Buddhism. And the Mogao caves that you are talking about, of which there's this print, actually is a witness of the evolution of Buddhism throughout the years. And it's a great place to go. Sadly, as far as I know, no cameras are allowed inside. So they can maintain the paintings and the murals inside the caves intact, because you know when you have a camera, you have the light that destroys. And so there are over 50. There are over 50,000 manuscripts inside that speak not only about the development of Buddhism and how it came, but also about what kind of materials, products, items that were traded from China to the world and were imported by China from the Western world. And speaking about items that are exported by China to the world through the Silk Road is jade.
Yeah. As far as I know, jade is kind of the symbol of your power in the like Asian China, and it's symbol of your pureness, your wisdom, and power.
So usually it was people of power that would have jades. Even the seal of emperor, when they would have written a letter, let's say, the seal that they would put is usually made of jade. And jade, as you can see, Dachi, if you can show, it comes through different colors.
Yeah.
It comes in green, which is what everyone knows, but actually the purest and the higher quality is white. And so jade, along with silk, were two products that China exported, that Chinese merchants brought with them to the world along the Silk Road. And you know, back then they didn't have money. So what they do is they would banter. So I would give you something, and then you give me something in return. And even though the jade was traded, there's a Chinese idiom that says gold has a value, but jade
have like bigger value.
It's invaluable.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you cannot put a value on jade.
So they say like you should collect jade rather than gold.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Like it's one sentence. Like it's you just say the beginning of the sentence. I just continue.
No, we were complementing one another. So let's go and check what is still around. All right. All right. So while we're speaking about Dunhuang, might as well just give, for those who don't know how to speak Mandarin, a crash course, not just in Mandarin, but more specifically in
Dunhuang language.
in Dunhuang dialect. And don't worry, it's going to be really easy. So we have, can you ask who's going to help us?
能不能跟我们解释一下这些呢？对，like just ask. No，我会说汉语。
韩语没问题，所以你可以在这儿然后接受一下。
Okay, actually, it's have explanation here.
It does have an explanation. These are pins, and so for example, if you want to say this, where's the one that is
Your favorite,
my
right?
favorite is boring. Okay, boring. Usually in Mandarin you would say
无聊，
无聊，
烦死了。
烦死了。But in Dunhuang accent dialect, you would just say
破烦。
破饭. So that's one way of saying, you know, something is boring. Another one is little girl.
Yeah, I'm coming.
So can you read it?
嘎丫头，嘎丫头，yeah，嘎丫头。Okay, I'm a 嘎丫头. Now we.
And then another one, which is, it plays on the Mandarin, because in Mandarin, first, if someone wants to kiss someone online, they would say
么么哒。
"么么哒." 但是, oh, okay, now I'm switching. But in
Like in there, it's
Dunhuang, it's
么嘛哒. It's mean like no
no problem. So
Don't mistake it, or you'd be like kissing someone instead of saying no problem.
exactly. So keep that in mind.
And this
Bye-bye.
one.
Oh, run fast.
Fast. Oh.
We actually have to run fast.
Oh, no. There was like one of my favorite one. Where is that? Okay.
All right, we move on.
Let's move.
Again, more silk,
Yeah.
because this is something that this place is famous
Famous
for,
for.
because it is at a certain junction of a very important junction on the Silk Road, and silk is the most valuable. Do you know why silk was valuable?
Because it's hard to produce.
Because back then,
And it's really light. What else? Like it's really light and yeah.
well, actually, yes, it was really light. So because the trip
Yeah.
through the deserts along the Silk Road used to take months, if not
Oh yeah.
months. So the merchants needed something that is very light to bring with them, but at the same time expensive. And at that time, China was the only empire, the Chinese empire was the only place that knew the secret of making
Silk Road.
silk.
Yeah.
And so the Romans liked the silk so much that they actually traded it with gold. But silk was really expensive that an important person in Rome would wear the toga, which is the traditional outfit in Rome, but then would only put one thread of silk in it because it was that expensive. So even for the rich people in the Roman Empire, they couldn't even afford the silk, so they would just get one little strand, and then they would just put it around.
Yeah, actually in the Chinese Asian countries, like Asian time, you can see these people who wearing this, it's mean that they're rich, and there's like normal people that like really heavy clothes.
And the Han Dynasty, during the Han Dynasty, which was the dynasty in which the Silk Road came to exist, during the Han Dynasty, they knew exactly the value of, I'm just trying to look to see whether there's something that we're missing. During the Han Dynasty, they knew the importance of silk so much that actually it was forbidden for people to divulge the secret of how to make silk. And if someone dared and spoke about how silk is made to others, foreigners who are not part of the Chinese Empire, it was actually the punishment would be by death. The punishment would be capital death. So they really wanted to keep that for themselves. However, in the 5th century, the Romans figured how to do, how to manufacture, produce silk.
So many people were killed.
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
But luckily, so the Roman Empire used to export to China glass.
Glass,
Because Chinese people didn't know how to make glass. Romans didn't know how to make
Glass.
silk.
Yeah.
The Romans knew how to make glass,
Yeah.
but the Chinese didn't know how to make glass. So the Chinese people used to give, it was trade.
Yeah.
But then by the time the Romans knew how to make
silk?
the Chinese knew how to make glass.
Okay.
And that was during the 5th century or 500 Common Era. 500 years common era. So we're still looking, we're seeing a lot of, again, camels.
Juice.
And this one has Dunhuang written on
Yeah.
it. This is Dunhuang. Okay, and then we see more of the jade there. But we're seeing this. Dachi, can you just zoom on this? Okay, so this is really important. We spoke about the...
Feichen.
Yes.
Camel.
We spoke about the caves before, and on the caves of the Mogao caves, which are in Dunhuang, they have these female figures. And these female figures, if you can just come again and then show how many figures they are. In Chinese, they're called Fei Tian,
Yeah.
which is actually from the Buddhism, Buddhist methodology. And actually, these are sky spirits. So basically, they are female figurines, and they live in the clouds. It's up in the air. They're called Fei Tian because
They're flying. Fei means fly. Tian, sky.
right. So they're the flying creatures that inhabit the sky, and they were spirits also, the spirits of the clouds and the spirits of the water. That's why their movement is very flowy,
Right, yeah.
and that's why in Chinese they are known to not only fly, but they're known to be really good as musicians and as dancers.
Dancers, okay.
And dancers.
Okay.
And actually, in Dunhuang hosts a lot of musicals that are related to the Fei Tian. So if you ever get the chance to come to Dunhuang, do check out one of these musicals, one of these shows, because you literally see dancers flying with their very flowy robe.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's interesting.
yeah. This is your first time,
Yeah. It's,
and how do you think of it?
well, with you, I learned a lot. Yeah.
And with you, I'm learning more Chinese.
And somehow I feel like it's kind of mixed Chinese character with my homemade character, like with my home, because of it's because of Silk Road. You see, like there are a lot of
Uzbekistan
things,
is on the Silk
yeah,
Road.
Yeah. So I can like recognize some of the like characters there. Actually, make me think of home.
Okay,
For
that's
example,
good.
this one. Yeah, but you can say that it's from also Arabic countries, but
Right.
also in my country it's really, really popular.
This pattern you're
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah, yeah.
is very Arabic,
Yeah.
or is very non-Chinese.
Yes.
Right, but you find it here as
Yeah.
well. And that's the thing about the Silk Road, because as we said, not only commodities, not only items and products were actually traded, but also ideas. And ideas came, such as, religion, for example. That was one thing. And it wasn't just about the material things.
Yeah.
It was also about the things that you cannot touch by hand, the intangible heritage of the Silk Road. Again, you were saying.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so I feel like it's kind of globalization in ancient time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this trend is still up until today with the Belt and Road initiative. That is a China proposed initiative in 2013 that is inspired by the Silk Road, but actually is no longer limited to, because the Silk Road was transcontinental route from China, Asia, all through Asia, and Europe. But right now the Belt and Road is growing to touch the whole world. There's a guy here who we saw earlier doing wood carving, and this is again one of the special crafts of Dunhuang.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
你好，
你好，
你做这个已经做了多长时间？
这个得做3天，
3天。He made it for 3 days. He made it for 3 days.
五飞天，1、2、3、4、5，五飞天，
5飞天
啊，
啊
5个飞天，
like say like 5 like 飞天。为什么是5个？
因为莫高窟壁画上面，这是我们这都是莫高窟壁
这
画，
5没有什么特殊的含义吗？
没有什么特殊的。
啊，
有3飞天、4飞天，还有没
那
喜欢的？
这是怎么做的呀？就是
手工刻的，
手工刻的，
对，是颜料都自己刷上去的。
就是相当于你先就是在
对，先
上面
刷颜料，
嗯
然后再画出来，然后刻出来。
哦。So yeah, they just put the like this black thing on the like wood, and they just start to carve it, right?
看有没
So usually they made that kind of thing for 3 days, working all day.
How long has this been how long has this craft been happening in Dunhuang? Can you ask him?
这个手工艺在敦煌已经流行了多长时间
20多年了。
？20 years.
For him?
Yeah. 你是做了20多年吗？还是在敦煌？
我做了8年。
No, for him it's 8 years, but in Dunhuang it's been like less for 20 more than 20 years.
And what kind of wood does he use? Is it like a special kind of wood or?
这木料是什么木料？
杜鹃木。
杜鹃木。
对。
杜 like.
Of course, it's 杜鹃木. There's no translation for that.
有什么为什么是杜鹃木吗？
因为它木质比较细嘛，不开裂不变形。
Oh, because it's like more harder, like it wouldn't be like, you know.
It wouldn't crack?
Yeah, wouldn't crack.
Okay. And how much do these sell for?
这个多少钱
这680块钱。
？680。680 680。那小的呢？
That's
小的
around
呢
a？
你
little
说这个
bit more than $100 US.
Oh, this is 50.
50 what?
50块钱。
So this is
50
less than $10.
Yeah.
This is around $9.
不带一个吗？
一会儿吧。
That was very diplomatic of you. He asked her if he'd like to put one in the bag for her, and then if she wants to buy one, but she was like later. That's when we need to run fast. All right, we're just concluding this section, which is about the local artifacts here in Dunhuang Market, and we're reaching a place that I think you and I can both agree that we can enjoy because it's about agricultural products,
Yeah.
which were part of the products that were traded along the Silk Road, and then we also have local products such as.
Just.
Let's come here for a
Yeah.
second and then try to see what they have. So here, they
yeah.
have a lot of dried fruits, raisins.
Actually, raisins, like it's really like a lot of raisins was exported from my country. For example,
Uzbekistan.
Yes. I don't know how much it was exported in 2016, but in 2015, it was kind of 9,500 tons was exported.
Can you repeat that?
9,500 tons.
9,500 tons were exported when?
Like in 2015.
Okay.
So it turned out to be $7,005,000.
Okay. So what you're saying is that grapes are imported from Uzbekistan.
Yes.
And that habit started during the Silk Road, because in the Silk Road, for example, grapes were one of the agricultural products that China did not know, along with wine. Oh, you have a a new friend. It was part of the Silk Road merchandise that were traded with China. So grapes were something that China did not have, and it imported it from Uzbekistan, let's say, nowadays Uzbekistan. We also have, what else? Oh, this is the Chinese dates, or jujube. Zhaogao in Chinese.
红枣 or we call it 红枣. Yeah.
What else do we have? The walnuts were also.
可以尝一个吗? No, it's
Try it
not.
without even looking. The walnuts, for example, were also imported to China.
Yeah.
So China did not have
It
walnuts.
before. Yeah.
However, China had this.
What's that?
That is a very odd-looking plant. And this plant is actually called the sistang.
Oh, sorry. Sister.
No
okay.
problem.
No problem. It's my new clothes.
So it was called the sistang.
Okay.
And it's actually a desert plant. And not only is it a desert plant, it's also a parasitic plant. So basically it acts like a parasite. This plant goes and takes over another plant. It paralyzes the other plant's roots, and then it sucks the nutrients as well as the water.
Oh,
Now there are plenty
so
of,
civil. Okay.
you know, you gotta survive. It's survival of the fittest, you know. So, there are plenty of kinds of these. and these are used in China for Chinese traditional medicine. So one of the things that they try to deal with is, for example, impotency or fertility problems for men and women. And they also deal with renals, so the kidneys. If you have problems with your kidneys, you also try these. But actually, I don't know how they...
So how to make it?
I have no idea.
Let's ask. Okay, we can move on and maybe they have some else. Because,
we can ask him because he has one.
yeah.
He has.
这个东西是怎么喝的呀？怎么吃？
泡酒、
泡酒。
冻汤。
Oh, like you can make it with a soup or with alcohol.
Okay. So do you boil it with alcohol or?
你是直接泡在酒里面吗？还是要煮？
直接泡，
You just know you don't boil it.
You just
like
put it.
Yeah.
泡2年，
Oh, and you put it for 2 years before you drink it.
直接就不用去那个。
啊，那如果泡在汤里面呢？那泡在汤里面要煮多长时间？
你煮的话就可以把它连续煮上3次。第一次把煮上汤喝完，第2次还可以，第3次还可以，第
那
4次就
一次要煮多长时间
2个小时。
？Okay, with the soup you can like boil for 2 hours, and you can drink it for 3 times. You
Okay.
can like boil for 3 times.
Okay.
Like boil, drink it, boil. Yeah.
But I'm not going to boil it
Why? It's
because
good,
I don't have any
it's good
renal
for-
problems. It's good for health, but I don't have any kidney problems so far. Thank you so much. We also have here goji
Goji.
berry, black as well as red. And if you see the black one, and today was the first time I see the black
Yeah, it's
goji berry. If you put it in water, and this is how you drink it, it turns into purple
Blue?
or blue purple.
就是为什么一个是蓝色的，一个是紫色的呀？
水质不同，泡出来颜色。
水质不同，那水质有什么区别
这？个是凉白开，咱们
凉白开啊
就是晾白开水烧开之后，晾到40度以下，是泡的。然后那个是用那个矿泉水、矿物质水，娃哈哈矿物质水。
Oh, okay. Why the color is different? Because this one is made like
Mineral water.
Yeah, mineral
矿泉水.
water. Yeah, 矿泉水. And this one is boiled, not boiled, like with the water that we boiled by ourselves. But when we just need to wait until it's cooled down.
So this is tap water. This
Yeah,
is the
tap,
what? Okay.
yeah, but cold tap water.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did he boil it and then put it?
Yeah.
Okay, so he boiled the water.
Yeah, boil the water, wait until it become like less than 40 like
Degrees.
degrees, and then put it inside.
Okay. And can you ask him what is this used for?
这是它的功效是什么？
养肝明目，对于上班的人来说，这个非常好。每天睡觉前喝上一杯，第2天早上起来眼睛就不会空，不会酸。
Oh, it's
Yang
good
kan
for
minggu dah.
it's good for eyes.
Okay.
When like especially when you're working a lot in front of a computer and like your eyes start to feel dry, you can drink it.
Okay. And we have. Okay. So here's a question.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
you're
What the
used to the
difference between
test.
it?
No, actually, do you know why it's good for the eyes?
可以让
Okay.
尝一下那个，喝一下那个。
Okay. 可以尝一下吗？
可以，他说可以。
Okay, as far as I know, it's have like I check it out a little bit between like red one and black one
But you didn't answer this. Why is there? Oh.
because it's have a lot of how to call it like 青花素. Yeah, 花青素 inside, which is kind of chemical, which is good for like
Antioxidant?
Antioxidant, yeah. Am I right?
那样喝没有啥味道，
那你应该怎么喝？
就是它这个东西就是没有喝的时候就是没有味道。
No, actually, you got it wrong.
Okay, then you tell me.
You're right. It has antioxidants
贵在
because
坚持。
Oh, like it doesn't have taste, but
Yeah.
is that like if you like keep drinking it, it will like be good for your health.
it will have an effect.
yeah.
Actually, you were right. It does have antioxidants, and it does work for like anti-aging,
Yeah.
so you can become. But actually, it's good for the eyes because it has a lot of. No, actually, don't. You might be right.
Yeah.
But I do know that it has a lot of vitamin A.
Yeah, vitamin E also.
Vitamin A, and I think this is why it's good for the eyes because this one has a lot of vitamin A. So, for example, 1/4 of this would give you 340% of your daily intake of vitamin A, which is a lot.
Oh, definitely I'll come back and buy it.
All right. So we are speaking about the things that China imported, but a lot of things China also exported, such as
Spices?
we wanted to see them there. Spices were one of the things. Cinnamon, ginger were of the things that China exported to the outside world. We had as well peach, apricot, and a lot of citrus fruits such as oranges, for example. Of the things that China imported are carrots.
But they didn't import the yellow carrots, that's why I cannot cook polo in like China.
Sorry?
Like that, but they didn't import the like yellow one.
I have not seen the yellow.
Really? Do you have polo in your country? Polo ash? Like it's kind of rice with the meat, with the vegetables? Ah, you lose a lot.
Okay, I'm losing a lot, but China gained carrots.
Yeah.
What else? What do we have here?
This one? Also import? No, right?
I know that there's cucumbers. This is China exported to the world. Garlic is something that China imported, and yeah, tomatoes as well. From what I heard, cucumbers. Yeah, from what I heard. Sistan, again, good for the eyes. No, good for the fertility problems and good for the renal kidneys. One thing that I want to talk about, we don't have much time anymore, but one of the things that I want to talk about is dates. Dates was a gift for travelers, and because you know when you're in a desert, you don't have a lot of food to eat on day-to-day basis. But actually, 3 of these dates, or so the story goes, would actually help you if you had spent a whole day without eating food.
Really?
So if you went on a whole day without not eating anything, 3 dates would actually do the trick for you. And that's because, I'm going to explain to you the way you explained to me behind, is that in each date, quarter to half of it is made of sugar. And sugar is quite fast to be absorbed to your liver, and that's what gives the energy to your body. And another thing, actually, but this has a lot of calories. It has a lot of calories.
I was about to say, like, if you eat only 3, then you don't need to eat anything. It's good for diet, but now, forget it.
It's not. But you know, when you go through days without eating, you could just eat a few of these.
Okay.
It also has water. It has 65% of it for water, so it's like an indirect way of having water. So that would fight or combat dehydration, which is something that
you know,
under the sun.
Yeah.
It also has magnesium, potassium, oils, so it's pretty much a good thing. Are you going to?
Yeah.
So that was a really good thing.
It's really.
And dates is something that China actually imported, because date came from Iran, or back days it was called Persia. And they imported it, but they knew the value of it. All right, let's better run. It's so yeah, it's really good, especially for travelers.
Actually, it looks like it's have a honey on it.
It's actually, this is the sugar.
Yeah, it tastes like honey, but it's not.
It's not. This is like natural sugar. Not that honey isn't natural, but again, this is really good for you. And with this tasting, we come to the end of our broadcast for today from the night market here in Dunhuang City in Gansu Province, Northwest China. You are watching us live on CGTN Digital, taking you around the food market, taking you around the many shops for handworks or artifact crafts that are done locally here by local craftsmen. And we tried the apricot peel water among other things that we've had. So we're skipping dinner tonight.
Yeah.
You sure?
No.
Probably not.
I want to eat that yellow noodle with the...
You're going to eat it, the yellow noodle with donkey meat, but I'm not going to eat that. But with that, we do come to the end of our live broadcast. Stay tuned to CGTN for tomorrow, because tomorrow, as we said, we saw the camels.
Yeah.
We saw the camels on wood. We saw the camel in little jars
Pictures?
of sands and pictures. But tomorrow we're going to have a real desert-like experience to experience what merchants throughout along the Silk Road had to go through. But that's tomorrow. Today we're just going to say goodbye to you. Thank you for watching. Do leave your comments on our social media platforms on Twitter, on Weibo, on YouTube, and Facebook. If you have any questions or comments, we'll get back to you tomorrow with answers. And thank you for watching us. It was Nadim from CGTN Digital and my lovely traveling companion, Oyka. Thank you again for watching, and I leave the camera to show you more of this. Bye.
切了吗？切了吗 ？OK。Finish. This finished. This finished.